What's up, guys? It's me again, Christian Rodriguez, and today I wanted to talk about this topic, and that's um, taking advice from people older than you, right? And it's good. It's good to take advice. We've all done it. We all when we're especially when we're young, even when we're older, we're influenced by something, right? There's something that influences us, right? And hopefully, I'm influencing you in a positive way, right? But either way, regardless of what influences you, you're being influenced by something, right? And when you're young, usually it's the people in your life, right? It's older people, right? It's adults because you see them as an authority figure, right? I've read about this in the book Influence, and it talks about how we're heavily influenced by authority figures, people in authority positions. And not only authority positions, but like if you're a kid, an authority could be a parent, it could be a relative, it could be an uncle, an aunt, it could be any adult in your life, right? Because you look up to them. So anyone that you look up to, you see them as an authority. You assume that what they say is because they know more than you, right? But like as I was getting older and I would get to my 20s and like I started like pursuing self-improvement, but I also started pursuing entrepreneurship, right? I began realizing, oh wait, this is most people actually don't know what they're doing, right? And that's the point of what I wanted to talk about because just be very careful on who gives you advice, right? Be you can even question what I tell you, right? Take it with a grain of salt and question it, right? Think about it. Like is he saying is what he's saying true? Maybe I should verify this, right? Do what you need to do, right? I don't want you to blindly believe in me. I just want you to hear what I have to say. But in general, like anyone that talks, like don't just blindly believe in it, right? And specifically, right? Maybe you're when you're younger. I don't think this goes away with age. That's the thing, because there's some people who are in their 30s and 40s who believe in completely wrong things because of someone older than them. So I don't think this goes away with age unless you proactively get it out of there, right? And you reprogram it with something else. But say for example you want to find some sort of success, right, with business. You want to become a successful entrepreneur, right? That's your goal. And you grew up with your parents, maybe your father was a bus driver, right? Your mom was a lunch lady. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not trashing on that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's respect for it. People who work hard are definitely, you respect them because that's they're making a living and they're grinding so you can have food. That's not what I'm saying, but what I am saying is if they've worked in that position, do you think it'd be good advice do you think it would be a good idea to talk to them and ask them for advice on how to become a successful entrepreneur? Of course not. Of course, if you, it's insane, right? It's kind of crazy if you ask them, "Hey, can I get some entrepreneurial advice?" They're not going to know because they don't know. Even if they're older, they don't know. They never experienced it, right? And this goes with anyone in the family. This goes with anyone. This goes with any authority figure. Like if I wouldn't take fitness advice from a 90-pound weakling, right? Would you? I wouldn't. I would want to take it from a bodybuilder, someone who's done what I wanted to do before, right? That's who you want to take advice from. And that's why I listen to adults. Like I talk about this because at least the older I was getting, right? And I was reading books, right? This is why I always talk about like educating yourself, right? And reading books because or even listening to audiobooks. That's good too. It's more passive. It's not my preferred method of it, but audiobooks help too. And the reason why I always talk about educating yourself is because when you're educating yourself, you start noticing things that most people don't see. Like you start understanding things, you start learning about new topics, you start digesting new topics, but then you also start realizing that most people don't really know what they're talking about. Like it gets blatantly obvious, right? And this could be educated adults, right? Who went to school, who got a fancy degree, who who work their job and there's nothing wrong with it, but their knowledge is only towards that job, not towards anything else in life, right? So you just have to be very aware of it. And that's the thing, because at least I got the wake up call, right, when I was somewhere in my 20s, right? I don't remember exactly the day, but I was like getting the wake up call that, oh, wait, most adults are trying to give me advice on what to do, but it's like shit advice. Like people were trying to tell me, you should go get your master's, right? And I'm like, get my master's? I was like, I already knew I wanted to do entrepreneurship, so I'm like, why get my master's? It's like, what do you mean? And it wasn't just one person. It was two adults. It was someone at my gym, at my jiu-jitsu gym, some regular guy, right? And then there was a family friend who told me I should go get my master's. I even thought about it so I could have another year of college, which would have been a waste of time and money, right? And it would have been an extension of college, which I didn't need. I knew that with what I wanted to do, a master's wouldn't help me at all, right? If anything, it would put me in debt. It would make me spend more money on stuff that I don't need, right? And that was just poor advice. That's just an example of it. Like imagine if I decided to get my master's, right? Imagine if I went to an expensive school and got my master's, or took out a loan, right? A student loan to go get my master's, right? That would have been the biggest waste of money. Like think about it. Like what the fuck would have done, right? I told you I want to do entrepreneurship, right? That was at the time, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and I still I'm doing it right now. How the fuck would that help me, right? Getting my master's and a finance degree, which is what I had, right? This is what happens if you blindly listen to authority figures, if you listen to other adults who are older than you. Because the issue is most adults who are older than you don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. They probably didn't take risk like you're trying to take or you've already taken. They're not taking these risks, right? They're not trying. They never. They don't believe in self-improvement. A lot of them probably never did self-improvement, or they never tried, right? A lot of them just did regular. They just followed the normal script that everyone tells you to do. Go to school, get a job, get married, work Monday through Friday, sit down, watch sports all weekend. That's probably what they grew up believing, and that's what they did, right? So then when they get to 30, 40, 50, 60, they try to look down at younger kids, and they try to give them shit advice, the same shit advice that they got. And the reality is that they're not so different than their younger selves. They're basically just an older version of their younger, unambitious selves, right? So really be careful on who gives you advice, because think about the master's program. Imagine if I got my master's, went to college, took out student debt, right? I basically would have just put myself in a financial hole, right? Spent money, wasted another year or two just to get my master's on something that I don't want to do. It would have been a complete waste of time. Then I would have been stuck at a job that I hated because I have to pay off my student loans. Just no one ever talks about that, right? And that's just one example of it, the master's one. There's other examples too. That's just one example that I thought of at the top of my head that personally I experienced. But just be very fucking careful on adults, older people just giving you advice, because if they never achieved what you wanted to achieve, right? If they don't have the life that you want, if they're not happy where, like if their life sucks, like if you look at them and you were like, would I trade my life with them? If the answer is no, then do not listen to them, right? Do not listen to their advice. Sure, you could be polite, you could smile and then change the subject, but you don't need to take their advice, their life advice. It's most likely shit, right? It's most likely shit. Now, if if say maybe Jeff Bezos, say you want to become a successful entrepreneur, and Jeff Bezos is giving you advice, fuck yeah, you should listen to him. If Jeff Bezos, if Elon Musk comes up to you and gives you advice, if Larry Ellison comes up to you and gives you advice, yes, you listen to them. You freaking grab, you know what you do? You grab a notebook and you start taking notes. But the vast majority of older people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? They don't understand anything about life setup. They don't understand anything about building a business. They don't understand anything about fitness, to be completely honest. Because that's another thing. I remember my nephew was telling me about my nephew was telling me about he was getting advice about the gym. I forgot what it was, but it was something about, oh, when you get older you get fatter, so you have to. And I was like, who told you that? And I was explaining to him that whoever told you that, think about it. Look at their body. Most people make bad decisions and then they pass down the bad decisions to someone younger, right? I don't know if it's a misery loves company type of thing. That's what I'm thinking it is. They pass down that bad decision so that younger person, when they get older, makes the same bad decision, ends up just like them. I told him, don't listen to them, right? And he knows I'm in shape. He knows that I've worked out for years. He's seen me. So he listened to me. But I was just like, be careful on who fucking gives you advice, because you're gonna end up like him if you listen to him. Do not listen to him, right? And yeah, that's something that I wish people shared with me as an adult. I wish people told me this, right? I wish people told me this when I was younger, when I was like 10 years old, when I was 8 years old. I wish someone went up to me and just told me this, like, be careful. Most adults don't really know what they're doing. So really be careful on the advice that you get, right? Because that would have saved me a ton of headaches, ton of probably I probably would have started this journey sooner, right? But it's all right. It happens. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and take care.